Welcome to the show, everyone. And I am so excited about networking with everyone today. I made it possible for everybody to talk about themselves right on the radio. And all you have to do is check me out. Go on Facebook. We're live on Facebook right now. So hi to everybody out there. Go to Networking Arizona radio show. Like me, follow me. You can even go to my YouTube and see all the videos there. We have a lot of fun here at Networking Arizona. I'm going to go with my first guest, and we're going to go networking right away. I have with me Bill Markov, and he's the managing attorney of Hartley Markov Law. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what kind of law we're going to talk about today.
Sure. Well, my name's Bill, and I'm a bankruptcy attorney. So I mainly help people file personal bankruptcy, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, get debt discharged and garnishments, that sort of thing.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about you. First of all, you say that you're located in Phoenix, right next to the Metro Center Mall.
Correct.
Right? But you can help anyone from anywhere in Arizona.
Yes, I'm Arizona licensed attorney, and I'm licensed to practice anywhere in the District of Arizona, which is where bankruptcies are filed.
So I'm going to go off of your questions for a
Yes.
second because I want to go and just get deep with you right now,
Okay.
okay? A lot of people out there first of all, right now it's a tough time for a lot
Sure.
of people, and they might need this service.
Mhm.
But a lot of people think that they shun it. You
Mhm.
know, let's talk a little bit about that and their rights to do something
Sure.
like this, and all of that. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, bankruptcy is a constitutional right to be free of your creditors if you feel that it's too much pressure for you, or if they're in sort of impeding on your ability to enjoy your life. So we help people with that, especially things that can cause people severe problems are if your wages start to be garnished. You're not able to make your other bills, pay your rent, and things can spiral out of control from there for people. Some people have some temporary issues and fall behind on a home mortgage, something like that, and so we can help them retain their home. In a Chapter 13, take care of the mortgage arrearage, possibly negotiate a mortgage modification, something along those lines to keep them in their home if they want to stay there.
Right now, we're dealing with some tough times, and a lot of people might need your
Mhm.
services. You might have always needed them, but just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. But it is, and the only way you know is you start off with a conversation.
Sure.
You have that. You do free consultations.
We do free consultations if you'd like to, call, or we're doing a lot of things remotely now, the way things are going, but we're in the office, and if someone wants to come by as well, that's fine.
Now, you do something. I'm going to take your last question and bring it right up to the
Okay.
top, because it's important for people to understand something that you do that not many other people do, and that's zero money down filing on
Correct.
at least the Chapter 7s.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Correct. Well, oftentimes it's, people decide that they need bankruptcy relief, and they seek out a bankruptcy attorney, and then they're told, well, this is the price, and you've got to pay it before we can even file your case. Well, we've been able to secure some financing and find some ways to basically bifurcate, split the case into two, and do our work post filing of the petition, and that way we're able to allow people to file without basically putting any money down, and we'll oftentimes take care of the filing fee for people as well.
And that's really nice, because
Yeah.
when you're going through bankruptcy, the last thing you want to have to deal with is money.
It's true. It's very hard to if you're being garnished, if you're having trouble making your monthly bills, it's very hard to save up money to hire an attorney, and
Right.
so this helps a lot of people.
Now, your website, it's Hartley, which is Hartley, Markov, Markov.com.
Correct.
And you also are on Facebook. You can go to AZBK Now if you want to check him out there. He's rated with the Better Business Bureau. And his phone number to call direct, it's 602-494-4444. Lots of fours, and that's
Lots
great.
of fours.
So let me also say this to everybody out there. Again, I think I say it every show, and I know people, I don't care what you think about what I say, because I'm going to say it anyway, and that is that this is information for people out
Mhm.
there. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know, because that's what networking is all about. And they hear something like this, and write the number down, because you never know when this can happen to you, or that you need the services or want to help somebody out with it. So again, that number is 602-494-4444. Okay, let's go back to now some of the things about BK that people may not, know about. When filing bankruptcy, can someone keep their car, their stuff, their apartment? What happens?
Right. Well, it is a very specific to each individual. Oftentimes, you are able to keep most of your property, your home, your car, and so. But it does sort of require a lot of analysis in terms of how long have you lived in Arizona. If you've moved from another state within a certain period of time, there's certain things called bankruptcy exemptions that allow us to protect your property from the bankruptcy trustees, the estate, so that they're able to be liquidated to pay for creditors. So we're able to do that analysis, make sure that we're able to protect all your property before we do filing.
So then let's talk about this credit, because it's going to affect your credit. But how badly and how long?
Right. Well, oftentimes, a lot of my clients, if they have garnishments, if they have judgments, if they have a large number of late payments, filing bankruptcy can actually improve their credit immediately, because filing the bankruptcy will basically
You don't know anything anymore.
discharges all of your prior debt, and now all of your income is free for new creditors. And in fact, a lot of my clients are inundated with offers for credit cards, for vehicle loans the minute they file.
So you can call them direct. You do a free consultation. There are complimentary ones for everybody there. It's 602-494-4444. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. And they do what's called zero money down filing on the Chapter 7s. And that means that you don't have to come up with any money right now, right?
Correct.
And so you can check them out on their website. It's Hartley Markov, hartleymarkov.com. So then what is the difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13?
Okay. So Chapter 7 is typically referred to as a liquidation, basically. The snapshot, all of your assets at the time of the filing are sort of an inventory is taken, and anything that is not protected by a bankruptcy exemption is sold or turned into cash by the trustee and distributed amongst creditors. With a Chapter 13, you're much more able to keep all of your possessions. You may have to pay more across the course of the Chapter 13, but the Chapter 13 is a reorganization where you basically make a monthly payment to the Chapter 13 trustee. The benefits there are being able to keep a home if you're behind on a mortgage. You can keep a car as well if you're behind on an auto loan significantly, and you can take care of some tax debt as well.
So when is the best time for somebody to, file for bankruptcy?
Well, it's really
Is there a
up to
good
the
time or
up
bad?
to the person. I mean, the before judgments are obtained in courts, before judgments are recorded, just creates a lot less problems for people down the line.
Here's the problem with people. First of all, we know they're procrastinators, and they definitely put their head in the sand
Yes,
with
the
almost
ostrich.
everything,
Yes.
and especially with something like this. But the creditors are calling and calling and calling. One thing I want you to get out too: once they work with you and they decide to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, I guess you don't even have to pay money once you're doing the filing and you file it. They don't get any more calls from anybody.
That's correct. The creditors can no longer contact you. There's an automatic stay that goes into place and stops all.
So don't you like that idea? We're just, all of that is so peace of mind.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
knowing, okay, things happen, bad things happen to good people. And it's all happening to a lot of us right now, in many ways. And sometimes we need just a little bit of help sometimes. And it used to be years and years and years ago, like my father, he would have been mortified, right? But it's different today.
Right.
And
Yeah, I think especially since 2008, it's sort of been just a series of very difficult financial events for people, and bankruptcy has become a lot less stigmatized.
Right.
A lot of people have filed bankruptcy.
And it starts with the story, and everybody has a different story, and that's why it's different for everyone. So what you need to do is just write the number down, give them a call, have them do a complimentary consultation with you. The phone number to call, it's area code 602-494-4444. You can go to hartleymarkov.com. You can also Facebook them at AZBK Now. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a second. So we're going to stay live on Facebook because everyone's liking that in the middle of these things now.
Oh,
They
okay.
want to see the new people, they want to see
Sure,
the
yeah.
behind the scenes. They like it to go forward. And so we can continue sort of talking and things like that. On your Facebook page, AZBK Now, So with that page, do a lot of people go there? Do you have information about all of these things? Tell them why to go to your page.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think we're trying to build it up right now. I'm not 100% sure what's on there, but it's definitely going to be. We're going to be adding some things
Right.
and making sure.
How about on your website? Do you have a lot of information there? Because so many people have questions about BK before they do
Well,
it.
I've always been sort of concerned about putting things out there that might not specifically apply to a certain person and
So
then
you keep
taking
it
it the wrong
minimal.
way. So we do keep it minimal
Mhm.
at this point, and then just try to have them give us a call and go over their specific.
Do you have the same
circumstances.
thing that happens to like Doc, where people finally do it? They come in, and they might talk to you about it, and then they wait, they think, and then they come back finally and do it, and they say, "Why didn't I do this sooner?"
It is, people have conceptions about it, and oftentimes it is a lot simpler of a process than, once they've actually done it than they were thinking
Right.
it would be.
And yet
that
it's-
was
and
it. Is what I mean.
we'll talk about that. Go ahead.
And they don't even have to face their creditors either, do they?
Not typically, no. Well, there is a hearing where the creditors can attend, but it's very rare that they do. It's typically someone that's like someone has an axe to grind, like an ex-spouse or a old business partner.
So
or something
that makes it
shows
a little
up.
bit easier for the person.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, if you wanted to talk, a lot of people are getting a stimulus check.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And I was wondering, I didn't want to say
Yeah.
anything actually on here,
No,
but
that's fine. I've thought a lot about it as soon as I heard about the stimulus. So I was very concerned about it.
what happens
Yeah.
with that?
So that's the thing is, so the way the law was written is that it's excluded from your income, from your disposable income. So it's not going to stop someone from filing under Chapter 7, but there's nothing in the law that protects it. So the trustee could take it if the person hadn't received it and spent it. Now, there has been some guidance from the U.S. Trustee's Office that's gone around to the Chapter 7 trustees and Chapter 13 trustees that has sort of said, we don't think you should take it. It's not a lot of money. But, if you really have to take it, you have to notify us and sort of get permission. And so it's been very sort of discouraging of taking it, but there's nothing that would prevent them in the law from taking the stimulus if the person
Here we
hasn't
go.
received it. If they've received it and spent it, there's nothing they can do.
Here we go. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking BK. Yay! Isn't that a fun topic? Well, you know what? It is, actually, because it actually can be very helpful, and it's not necessarily a bad thing or should be embarrassed about it. Some people are, but you don't need to be. We're talking right now with Bill Markov, and he is the managing attorney with Hartley Markov Law. We're talking about BK. We're talking about Chapter 13 and Chapter 7. One thing that they do that not a lot of other attorneys do, which is they make it even easier on you, is they do a zero money down for filing with Chapter 7,
Correct.
which is so nice that you even do that, because 9 times out of 10, the reason why people don't go bankrupt is because they don't think they can afford it in the first place,
Mhm.
right?
Correct. Yes, attorneys are expensive, and this allows people to access them.
Real quickly, what's the difference between working with an attorney and doing it with you,
Yes.
as opposed to trying to do something like this online? Can you do that kind of stuff online?
So there are resources out there. There are doc preparers that will put together a petition for you. The pitfall, the problem that can occur for people is not knowing the law and how it affects their property. And I've seen oftentimes when it gets to the actual trustee hearing, because you go in with a group of other people that have always also filed bankruptcy, and so as the attorney, I'm representing my clients there, but there are pro se debtors who filed their own cases, and then you hear they've got a number of vehicles and various things, and they're sort of surprised, and the trustee lets them know, hey, there's just only one exemption you can protect your one vehicle with, and so these other vehicles, we're going to need to know the price, and we're going to need to have our auctioneer come and take a look at them, and so you can definitely.
They must not just be surprised, they must be pretty bummed.
Yes, you can be very, very sorely awakened.
And it's too late at that point.
Yeah, it would be too late. Once you file bankruptcy, it's difficult to get out of it. There may be some options, there may not be, but Yeah, you
Don't
might just
try
have
and
to
do it. But the
write
bottom
it out
line
at
is,
that point.
you know, so many people right now with, we call it Dr. Google, right? You know,
Mhm.
and that they know all the answers, and actually they don't. And it's very important that at least you take a complimentary consultation, sit down and talk, find out where
Yeah.
you stand. I think that's the best thing to do. And you offer them. And their phone number direct at 602-494-4444. And I said it before, write it down. Maybe you know, put it, even if you just put it on the refrigerator, put it right in front of you and say, you know what, I'm going to do this, and do it. Because at the break we were talking that a lot of people, when they finally do it, and they get the courage and they come in and they finally do it, what do they usually say?
That's it. You know,
Honestly,
yeah,
that's it. I like it. That's
yeah.
it. And they feel so much better.
Yeah, well, we can guide people through the process and make it pretty simple. And you know, once they realize what, you know, the hard part is, I think, you know, giving us the call, and you know, we do need to collect some documentation from people, and so, but we do, you know, we have a computer at the office, we have laptops and printers. If you need to print stuff off, you can do it there. But you know, that's it, there's a lot of paperwork we need to collect, and that's probably the hardest part.
But once you do it, you got that lift off your shoulder, and the creditors aren't calling you anymore. And today it's different. How long does the BK affect you?
Well, so with the Chapter 7, it's public record. It's going to be on your credit for 10 years. With the Chapter 13, the credit reporting agencies will start dropping those off at 7 years. So there's a little bit of a benefit there.
But I also, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, but you can start with the Chapter 7. You can start rebuilding your credit immediately.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because even though it's on there, like a lot of other things, ever since 2008, or was it that we had the crash, it doesn't matter what you have on your credit score anymore, practically, because
That's
of
right.
course there are things that happen to people, and a lot of people want to just talk to you first and find out, you know, what happened, what's your story, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, once you file, you're going to get bombarded with ads for new credit, you know, new vehicle lenders, you know, secured credit cards, things like that. And using credit wisely, you can typically, you know, rebuild and get to a relatively decent credit score in the 600s within about a year or two after filing. You can purchase a home through FHA 2 years after you receive the discharge. So that's, you know, the discharge comes about 3 to 4 months after the case is filed. So about 2.5, you know, years after filing a homeowner, you know, buying a home is possible if you didn't own one before. But you can keep your own most of the time.
Most of the time you can. And I also want to talk about the affordability of a bankruptcy, because I think that's also what people say. It's just too much money, so I don't know what they do. They usually just put their heads in the sand and do nothing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And
What's
that,
the number one thing people do? Nothing. That's what people do.
Right.
They do nothing.
the ostrich approach is not the best approach. You know, you had a repossession. You co-signed for a car for a friend a couple years ago, and all of a sudden your check's getting garnished, and that's not good. So it's best to sort of take problems head on and deal with them when you need to, and that way you know, you're able to start rebuilding sooner.
So let's say somebody has a judgment, you know, or a summons against them. What happens if they don't file bankruptcy?
Well, if they don't file bankruptcy, the judgment or the summons will turn into a judgment through the process of default, and the creditors then have a number of ways they can try to collect. They can garnish wages, they can garnish a bank account, they can record the judgment, and then if you do own property, it becomes more difficult to sell it. But yeah, I mean, people can be surprised and wake up and their bank account's empty one day, or you know, they start
That ain't fun.
losing 25% of their paycheck, and so yeah.
Right. I do also wanted to talk to you a little bit about debt consolidation and what the difference would be,
Yeah.
you know, with doing it through or doing that. What does usually people do?
Well, we do have oftentimes people come to us after they've tried a debt consolidation, and one of the problems is that you know, with a debt consolidation, it sort of takes everyone cooperating. So all of the creditors have to cooperate. If one decides they want to jump the line and get a judgment and garnish your wages, now all of a sudden you can't make your debt settlement payment, and you can't pay your rent, and you can't, you know, pay your car
So it's
payment.
catch-22.
Right, and so it spirals out of control from there. So we've had a lot of, I mean, all of my experience has been with failed debt settlements where they've, you know, come to us and, you know, then filed their case and wonder why they didn't do that in the first place.
And so, what the papers that you say that you need for people to do this? What are they? I mean, what?
Well, it's basic financial documents, tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements. If someone owns a business, profit and loss statements, that sort of thing.
Can they leave anybody out of a bankruptcy?
No, you have to list all your assets.
If you do it, you do it all the way, right?
Yeah. It's there's some, it's a federal crime to leave to admit or hide things in a bankruptcy. So you have to disclose everything, and disclosing the creditors especially that makes you that gets you the discharge. If you leave someone out, they can then come back later and say they were left out, weren't given notice, and the debt's still good.
So when you have you have this consultation, it is a complementary consultation. He does work right here in Phoenix, but he can help anywhere in Arizona. You also made it super easy for people, is that you made it so that there's a zero money down when filing. And so basically they come in, and what's the process?
Well, the basic process is obviously we're attorneys, so we need to have a signed fee agreement in place. Once we do that, we start collecting documents, prepare a petition. Once our clients review the petition, everything's correct, then we file it electronically. I mean, there's a lot of paper involved, but most of the stuff we do is electronic. And then there's a hearing date set about 30 to 45 days out. With the trustee, you'll have to meet the trustee. They have to verify your identity, and then at that point, that's usually the last interaction people have.
So do they have to go to classes?
There is an online course that you have to take before you file, and then another course you have to take after you file before you get
Right,
the
because you
discharge.
need to learn by your mistakes. Right?
Well, yeah, I think that's the basic idea behind the courses, is to make sure you
get
don't
back in the same
refile.
situation, right?
Yeah.
And if they did have to do that, how long do they have to wait?
Well, so if you file a Chapter 7, you have to wait 8 years between Chapter 7s. But if there's I do have repeat clients that file a Chapter 13, and you can file that at any time, essentially, but if you wait 4 years, then you do get another discharge.
Here's the thing, is I think that everybody should write the number down. Maybe it's you or someone that you know. Certainly don't put your head in the sand. Have the complimentary consultation with them. Peace of mind, a lift off of your shoulders, or someone that you know. Also, we never know when something like this is going to happen. You said the number, I think it was you that said this, and I don't remember who it was, said to me that a lot of medical bills cause people to have to go BK.
I do have some, definitely, they have some illness, things spiral out of control. Medical charges are very expensive and are not often covered by insurance, or some people are just uninsured.
And also right now with everything that's going on with people losing their jobs.
Lose your job, lose your insurance.
All sorts of things. Now, we're live on Facebook, so you can also check him out there too at AZBK Now. You can check him out on his website, which is Hartley, Hartley, Markov, Markov.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They can help anyone in Arizona. They do zero money down for filing, and their phone number is 602-494-4444.
You know what, too bad you didn't say it, but there's a good group of people